Hello Aries, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. But I still have a tarot deck that we'll be using, as well as the decks that I'll be using to close out the reading within the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and just leave the rest. All right, Aries, in your recent past, you have cleansing with the Fool in reverse. So there's a new beginning that you're desiring, and one that is very much available for you, but hasn't yet been able to manifest its way into reality. And the reason for that being, especially with this cleansing card, is that your energy has been taken up by things that don't really align with the abundance that you are deserving of. And so your recent past kind of feels as if it was a process. You might still be going through this process, but it feels as if it were a process of letting go of things, of people, places, situation, jobs that were holding you back so that you could open up your energy to attract whatever it is that you're ultimately desiring. Because in your current energy, you have the law of attraction with the Five of Pentacles. Now, I do feel as if there has been some loss that you've been experiencing. The biggest thing that you need to know is that what is meant for you has not passed you. You have not lost your opportunity to be happy, abundant, fulfilled, loved in the way that you desire and deserve. That opportunity still lies ahead of you. You know, the ability to create a better life for yourself always lies ahead of you. Now, it might not feel like that, because I do feel as if you're wading through some loss, maybe experiencing a lack mindset, feeling as if you don't have what it is that you need or ultimately desire, and a lot of your focus is going toward that right now. You know, manifesting is a tricky process because, yes, it is the process of creating the life that you're truly desiring of. You can call it manifesting, you can call it co-creation, you can call it, you know, prayer and following spiritual guidance. It can be called whatever resonates with you, but that process is very tricky because a lot of times we don't realize that before we can gain whatever it is that we desire and what we're asking for, we have to be willing to lose anything that doesn't align with where we're going. And so sometimes when people start the manifestation process and they start experiencing the loss, they start to go, oh, well, this must not work. You know, I'm never going to be able to have the life that I desire. Manifesting, law of attraction, prayer, it just doesn't work for me. When in reality, it's the universe actually creating space for what it is that you desire, because in your immediate future, you have changes with the Three of Pentacles. And so I do very much see changes that you're desiring in your immediate future that are possible for you. The Three of Pentacles kind of talking about the pieces falling into place, almost as if everything comes together. Think of kind of like a puzzle here. Now, the overall theme of the reading is don't let your past hold you back. And I feel like that's so important because I do feel as if this loss that you're kind of wading through, you know, if you allow yourself, I'm not saying you haven't experienced a great loss, so I don't want to downplay or diminish the way that you're feeling. What I do want to do is give you some perspective to say, you know, any kind of loss that we go through is always making room for something that is either going to be just as good or better. But the more that we hold on to what's been lost, thinking that the key to our happiness lies in that, the less that we actually open up our energy to gain what it is that we're that loss has created space for. Now, sure, sometimes we go through loss and we can experience gaining that thing back, but usually it's in a very different form, and that takes a lot of time. So I just feel as if there's a lot of messages that kind of tie in together to say, what is meant for you has not passed you. Anything that has been lost will be returned in a way that is either of equal value or better. So let's start, Aries, with your recent past, clarifying and cleansing with the Fool in reverse. And when I talk about equal value or better, something that is lost being returned, a lot of times it doesn't necessarily mean that that's that exact thing. It could mean like the joy that that thing brought you, the love that that thing brought you, the safety and security that whatever has been lost brought you. All of those things have the ability to return in a way that is either equal or better. All right. What does Aries need to know regarding their recent past? Ooh, okay. Okay, Devil with the 9 of Pentacles. And then there's the 3 of Pentacles in reverse, which is interesting because you have it upright in your future. So I do feel as if you kind of went through an experience of things falling apart. Now, there was an attachment created to something that you very much desired. An outcome, a person. I really feel like it's an outcome, though. Like an attachment to an outcome, to things going a specific way. So much so that you have, on some level, made yourself to believe that if things didn't work out that way, or since things didn't work out that way, that you're never going to be happy, or you're never going to experience abundance. And that could not be further from the truth. Now, I get why you feel that way, because I do feel as if the attachment created a sense of safety in you that made it seem as if whatever it was that you were desiring to experience was very possible. Now, since the loss of this thing, it feels a little bit more impossible for you to experience what it is that you desire, when in reality, losing what it is that doesn't serve you or align with you actually opens your energy up to what does, right? Like I kind of talked about, which actually makes what it is that you desire more possible than when you're attached to an outcome that might not be the best outcome for you. But I do understand why you feel the way that you do, but I think that there's a lot of hope in this reading. All right, what else does Aries need to know regarding their recent past? There it is, right there. Doesn't align with you. 2 of Wands in reverse, 4 of Swords in reverse. Whatever this was, a person, a situation, a job, it was draining your soul with the 4 of Swords in reverse, like taking more energy from you than it was giving. You know, when we give so much to people or situations or jobs that don't really serve us or don't reciprocate, you know, you're giving out, say, 50% of your energy to something that doesn't reciprocate you equally. Maybe you're getting a little bit back. Maybe you're getting nothing back, but maybe you're getting, 20, 30% back. So you're giving 50, say you're getting, let's say 30 back, okay? Let's give it some the benefit of the doubt. You're giving 50, you're getting 30. That's still 20% of your energy that isn't being returned, which means that eventually your cup is going to start to deplete and you're going to have nothing else left to give. You cannot pour from an empty cup, which is going to start to create mental and emotional issues. It's going to start to create maybe even physical issues. Your physical health starts to decline. Whenever you're in a situation that doesn't align with you and is constantly draining you, draining your energy and not adding value, then you will get to a point where it starts to harm you in deeper ways. Now, I say that not to scare you, but I say that to say that is why the universe, this was very much divine protection. The universe was taking you away from something that was consistently draining your energy and keeping you actually from the happiness, the abundance, the love that you ultimately desired. Now, I feel like you were investing in something or you were headed in this specific direction because you felt as if it had the possibility of eventually being what it is that you desired. But during that process, you drained yourself. And so, kind of maybe investing in something for the potential of it or the hope of what it could be, which we've all done. But a lot of times we forget that actually ends up kind of being a cycle, giving so much energy, getting so little back, which then will cause you to give even more, and then you'll get even less back, and it gets worse as time goes on. I feel like that's kind of what happened here. What else does Aries need to know regarding their recent past? Painful. It's a painful situation. Okay. 3 of Wands in reverse. Empress. There you are as the Queen of Wands, whether you're male or female. but I don't think that's really related to this message. I think it's just kind of you showing up in your own energy. Okay. There was some self-betrayal taking place in your recent past, which might have even actually led to actual betrayal. You know, when we betray ourselves over and over again, where we don't focus on meeting our needs first, when we don't focus, because if we don't meet our needs first, we can't show up in this world as our best self. So when I talk a lot about putting yourself first, making decisions to take care of yourself first, a lot of people who aren't used to that can come off as very selfish, because you're like, well, what? I'm just supposed to ignore the needs of others? No, absolutely not. But there's a balance there. You have to make sure that your needs are being met so that you can meet the needs of others. Because if you are not meeting your needs first, you're going to end up drained and you're not going to be able to show up for others. You're not going to be able to show up in the way that you need to. And so there's a lot of self-sacrifice going on in your recent past, to the extent that it kind of turned into this self-betrayal. Maybe you knew better, or maybe you felt like you were kind of like giving someone or something the benefit of the doubt so much that you weren't staying true to your own value and what it is that you knew that you were deserving of. And I feel like you were aware of that, but I also feel as if the hope that maybe something was going to change or get better or something kept you investing. And that's a human thing to do, okay? You haven't done anything wrong. You haven't ruined your chance at happiness, but it is something you have to bring into your awareness, because you have to be aware of the ways that what you do manifests into your reality. So sometimes if we sacrifice ourselves, if we do self-betrayal, right? We betray ourselves, we sacrifice our own needs and desires for the sake of someone else. We're not putting ourselves first. We're not choosing ourselves. We're hoping somebody else does that. Well, what that does is that manifests into reality as actual betrayal. And then in the end, we're like, oh, this person betrayed me and this happened to me, when in reality you had been betraying yourself all along. Now, that is not saying that what you go through is your fault, okay? I'm not saying it's all your fault that this happened to you. No. But you can't control other people. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control the energy that you bring into situations. And when you can recognize the way that you have betrayed yourself by not choosing to put your needs first, then you can recognize why the universe was protecting you from something, because you deserve better, which can help a lot with the healing process. And also understanding that your happiness does not exist behind you, because I do very much feel as if that's something that you're struggling with, Aries. Like you missed your boat or something, you missed your shot. I like to think of it as like a train. You might have missed your train, but there's going to be another train. You might feel like you missed your train when I don't know. It's just like there's always going to be another opportunity. You have anything that we feel we've missed out on, or anything that we feel we've messed up, or anything that we feel we've lost, there will always be another opportunity for those things to return. Not a one and done kind of experience. All right, current energy for Aries, the law of attraction with the 5 of Pentacles. What does Aries need to know about their current energy? So your recent past was about cleansing your energy of people, places, situations that didn't serve you, didn't align with you, weren't meant for you in the long run. Didn't mean they didn't serve a purpose, okay? I'm not saying that those things were worthless and you should have never invested in those and how dare you waste your time, all right? That's not at all what I'm saying. Sometimes things serve a purpose for a certain point, to a certain point in our lives. Sometimes we outgrow things. Sometimes there's a lesson involved. It's not that there wasn't a purpose in these things. It's that where you are headed and what you're wanting to experience, those things don't align with that, which is why there was a loss associated. But okay, what does Aries need to know about their current energy? Well, that's a lot. I almost want to reshuffle. That's way too many messages. Okay, I can try to break it down. Magician, Temperance here. So it's interesting because you have the law of attraction, then you have this magician, which to me is kind of the card of the law of attraction, like manifestation, you being the magician of your own reality. Okay. So something that has been lost is something that you were chasing, something that you were trying to force an outcome of, but it kept proving to you over and over again that it couldn't be what it was that you were desiring it to be. A relationship, a job, a path, whatever the case might be. So putting a lot of energy into it to try to change the outcome, to try to change the situation, to try to make it something better than it was, ending up drained, right? We kind of already talked about that. And so what your current energy, or what this whole situation is trying to teach you, is that the law of attraction and manifestation, it doesn't require, first of all, it doesn't require self-sacrifice. It doesn't require self-betrayal, okay, for sure. But it also doesn't require you to try to force something to be something it's not. It requires you to recognize what something is with complete and total honesty and make decisions accordingly. Because I'm gonna be honest with you here, Aries. It feels like you had this awareness that whatever has been lost, that whatever this is, that it wasn't good for you, that it wasn't treating you well, that it didn't align with what it is that you deserved. Like it feels as if there was this awareness. Now, maybe it was an awareness you didn't want to bring to the forefront of your mind. Maybe it was kind of in the back of your mind. You always just like, get out of here. Like go fly. Like, shoo. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to admit that to myself. But it feels as if there was a little bit of this awareness that whatever the situation was, and this could be something you're still dealing with, that it's not good for you and that it's not meant for you. And there's a part of you that, despite knowing that, isn't making a decision to change it, because there's a part of you that feels as if you need it. There's a sense of or if you needed it, if this is something you were dealing with in the past. There's a sense of your security that has been attached to this thing, this idea that if things don't happen this way, if this relationship doesn't work out, if this job doesn't work out, I'm not going to be okay. Which within itself, it means that you believe that the self-betrayal required to keep that situation going is necessary for your safety. So sometimes we have to break down where our beliefs keep us from being able to create better for ourselves, because I feel even though you knew this wasn't good for you or wasn't meant for you, you kept investing. And I get why, okay? This whole reading is about understanding that you haven't lost anything, that this is only the opportunity to gain, all right? So this is not me saying shame on you, Aries, because I feel like a lot of people have a tendency to take my messages and be like, oh, well, then I guess I just suck. And I'm like, no, that's not the point. My point of my messages is to direct you to how, remember, 95% of our subconscious, or of our decisions, are made by our subconscious. 95% of the way that we interact with our reality comes from our subconscious mind. Only 5%, 5 measly percent, comes from our conscious thinking and conscious decision making. Now, your subconscious mind, your subconscious reactions and responses to your reality is going to be made up of what you've experienced and how you've internalized them. So if you've internalized the idea that self-betrayal is necessary in order for you to be safe, in order for survival, then that is what you're going to act on. You're going to act on that belief because you're a human being and you're wired to do things a certain way, okay? What has happened to you and how you've come to believe these things, that is not your fault. It is not your fault that things have happened to you. Your trauma is not your fault. But if you want things to change, you have to start to understand how things get attracted into our life, how we attract the same people over and over again, how we attract financial struggles over and over again, how our belief system is the driving force of the reality that we experience. That's what this whole thing is talking about, because the more that you can understand why things had to happen for you the way that they did in the past, why certain things had to be lost, why your energy had to be cleansed of things, it's the universe's way of saying this wasn't as good as it could get for you. Things could get so much better, but you didn't believe that, so the universe had to step in and do something about it so that you could open up your energy to better. But the hardest part to that is you have to be willing to see the loss for what it is, because anything that requires self-sacrifice, self-betrayal, requires you to put yourself on the back burner, That isn't meant for you. That doesn't align with you. And that certainly isn't even kind of close to as good as it can get for you. That was a really long message because there were a lot of cards that I had to play off of there. But let's keep going. What else does Aries need to know about their current energy? Resistance. Resisting your own abundance. But how is Aries resisting their own abundance? I want to know how. I feel like there's more to this. I felt like it was just that card. How is Aries resisting their... Oh, no. Okay. Those came out too. The Judgment in reverse. You're not wanting to or not seeing the truth of a situation. Because the Judgment in reverse is the need to see the truth behind what's going on. Now, you could have been dealing with a water sign. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. You definitely did not have to be. But not seeing the truth behind a situation is keeping you from understanding why things had to happen the way that they did, which is keeping you from manifesting better for yourself, because there's a part of you that's resisting your abundance by holding on to the past, which is why you don't let your past hold you back. The universe is saying that your happiness, your abundance, good things that you desire, it exists ahead of you. You have not lost those opportunities, no matter how much you believe that that's the case. Needing to see the truth behind why something was lost. And as hard as this might be to hear, Aries, the role that you played in that situation. Now, what I'm talking about is maybe you were a victim in a situation. For me, the way that I've come to understand this lesson is I was a victim. I don't really like calling myself that, but in an emotionally abusive relationship for a while. And for a while after that relationship ended, I put all of this pressure on all of these things that he did to me. You know, he did all of these horrible things to me, and I would replay them in my mind, and I'd get angry, and it was like I was experiencing the hurt over and over again. Because in the end, he ended up leaving me. I self-betrayed in that relationship. I stayed. I gave him things over and over and over again, even though he kept treating me poorly. But I continued to betray myself for the sake of the relationship. In the end, he ended up betraying me. Okay? Which I guess is kind of what I was talking about, but different situation. And when I lost that relationship, I was devastated, because in my mind, I had given so much to this, and I could not understand why my value and what I brought to the table in that relationship wasn't enough. You know, I loved him beyond the way that I was treated, you know, all these things. I had all these ideas of why I was deserving of that relationship, and I couldn't understand why, despite the fact that I showed up in the best way that I knew how, that person ended up walking away. And I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand why the universe took that from me. Then I learned the lesson. I learned the lesson that I was self-betraying, and I was accepting way less than what I deserved, and I was more afraid of the loss of the bare minimum love than I was of actually taking a chance on gaining better for myself. And that I could go on and on about what I learned from that relationship. But what I'm talking about is I resisted my own abundance for so long because I was holding on to, I can't believe I lost this relationship, instead of looking at it from a place of, the universe is teaching me that I'm deserving of more than what I was accepting in the past. And the more that we can look at that, and we can start to understand how we have, because we as humans are actually way more afraid of the love and abundance and good things that we desire than we are of what it is that we're used to. Bare minimum love, poor treatment, financial struggles, if that's something that you're dealing with. If that's what you're used to dealing with, your ego actually freaking loves those experiences, because it knows what they feel like, it can predict it, and it knows how to survive them. And that, your ego wants the control. It wants to know exactly how things are going to feel. It wants to know exactly what things are going to look like. And so it actually subconsciously will seek out situations that align with what you're used to, with what aligns with your belief system. And so in order to create better, to attract better into your life, you have to get into why. Where is this coming from? What is this trying to point out in me? How am I subconsciously or consciously resisting love and good feeling things by accepting so much less than what I deserve, or by giving my energy away to things that don't deserve me? current energy for Aries. What Aries needs to know regarding their current, okay. Chasing something that doesn't reciprocate. We're done with that. We're leaving that energy in 2023. The more that you chase what doesn't reciprocate, the more you're saying, the more that I give, the more valuable I am of something to give back to me. And this is a cycle for you, Aries. Over-giving, over-showing up, self-sacrifice, self-betrayal for the sake of believing that all of those things make you more valuable and deserving of what it is you're trying to attract. If something does not reciprocate your energy, if something does not see your value, if something does not treat you in the way that you deserve, it is not your responsibility to prove to that thing or that situation that you are deserving of better. Because that within itself is you trying to prove that you're worthy to other people, which gives them the power to decide whether or not you are. You are worthy and deserving of the things that you desire for who you are right now in this moment, regardless of what you give, regardless of what you sacrifice. And understanding that, because the law of attraction states, when you break it down at its most basic level, what you think about, what you give energy to and think about, becomes what you believe. What you believe becomes how you act. How you act becomes your reality. So what you believe is going to be how you act. And how you act is going to be what you experience. Okay? So breaking it down and understanding, I chase certain things in my life. I chase love. I chase money. I overwork myself because I think that I have to in order to believe that I'm deserving enough for what it is that I desire, for abundance, for survival, whatever the case is. And none of those things are true. But let's see what you can expect moving forward, Aries. Changes with the Three of Pentacles. Immediate future for Aries. What can Aries expect moving forward? Or what can Aries expect moving forward? Oh boy, okay. Okay. If you can get into this energy of attracting, not chasing, if you could wake up, not that's going to happen overnight, but if you could believe, you could open your eyes and believe, I am deserving, I am lovable, I am capable of good things, and the universe has supported me on the path to those things, you would be able to manifest your reality like that. You'd be able to manifest your desires in like a heartbeat. Because knowing you're deserving and capable and supported on the path is like the biggest blockage. What you can expect in your immediate future, if you can kind of adjust which you have all of the capability to do, but it would take some inner work. Look at that. Justice with the Nine of Swords in reverse. What it is that you deserve. Release of anxiety and fear. The freaking Ten of Cups and Ten of Pentacles. Look at how good of energy this is. This is long-term emotional fulfillment, long-term material fulfillment. This is wish fulfillment coming to reality. This is the changes. These are the changes that the universe is trying to lead you to. This is not behind you. The best is ahead of you. So the biggest thing that you're needing to understand is stop looking at, and I'm not saying like, invalidate the way that you feel, but stop looking at your life from this perspective of look at all of these things that I've lost. Start looking at your life from the perspective of look at all of this opportunity I have to gain. I'm not saying you haven't lost anything and you're going to have to work through that stuff, right? The grief and all of that associated. But in the back of your mind, hold out this hope and understanding and truth that the good stuff is still ahead of you. Because it is. I'm getting riled up in this reading. I know a few Aries, and those Aries in my life are the people who deserve the most. All right, immediate future for Aries. More immediate future for Aries. What Aries needs to know moving forward. Okay. Patience through the loss. Because there's the Five of Pentacles. Patience and an abundance mindset go hand in hand. Impatience and a lack mindset go hand in hand. Because what happens when you're patient is you're willing to wait and take risks towards believing that better is available for you. So if something doesn't align with your worth, if something isn't fulfilling, if it doesn't bring you the joy, the abundance, the security, whatever it is that you seek, then you wait for something else instead of settling for it because you think nothing better will ever come along. Impatience and a lack mindset causes you to believe that there isn't enough to go around, that you're never going to be able to have what you desire, so you cling to whatever the universe brings your way immediately because you think, if I don't make this work, then nothing ever will. So moving forward, there's this need to get picky about what it is that you're willing to accept in your life. And I don't mean in terms of like, when you're trying to attract a partner, like how someone looks or what job they have. I'm not talking about like the superficial stuff. I'm saying get picky about how something makes you feel. If it doesn't make you feel valued, if it doesn't make you feel worthy, if it doesn't make you feel loved and respected, if it doesn't make you feel the way that you desire to feel, then it is not meant for you. And you have to be willing to lose and walk away from and let go of whatever doesn't make you feel the way that you desire to feel in the end. Now, you can always give it a chance, right? You should always give things a chance. I'm not saying one strike you're out, but if you are continuously asking somebody to change, or you're continuously trying to prove your value, or you're continuously giving everything you have to something and you continue to get back these bad feelings, that is a sign from the universe that it isn't meant for you and that something better is possible for you. So the changes that you desire require patience and a willingness to be unapologetic about what it is that you desire, and get picky. Get picky with your energy. Your energy is sacred. Get picky with it. All right. Immediate future for Aries. I think I just pulled my camera because it's attached to my microphone. All right. What does Aries need to know moving forward? Don't let your past hold you back. I also want you to remember that your past experiences are not proof of what's possible, okay? So don't think, oh, because I always end up losing things or things never work out for me or all these relationships have failed. Those things are not proof. I need to stop shuffling. I need to reshuffle when I stop talking. Though what has happened to you, what you've experienced is not proof of what you can experience moving forward. I just talked about it. What you've experienced becomes what you believe, right? Don't let what you've experienced dictate what's possible for you, because what you have experienced is valid, but it doesn't mean that that's all that's possible. All right, now, last message for what Aries can expect moving forward. Page of Cups. There's the Fool. You have divine guidance available for you. Divine guidance that requires you to choose yourself and put yourself first for once, Aries. Understand that it is not selfish to choose yourself. The more that you put yourself first, the more that the universe will adjust energetically to meet you there. But the thing is, so this new beginning, this opportunity for a new beginning that leads to that 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, all the things that you want out of life, this is out there and it's waiting for you. It's waiting for you to choose it. But it's waiting for you to choose it by choosing not to choose what isn't it, if that makes sense. It's you have to be willing to decide right now, in this moment with me, right here, make a promise to yourself. I will no longer try to prove my worth to people or situations that don't see it. Because other people not seeing my worth is none of my business. They got their own stuff going on. I know my value. I know what I bring to the table, and I will take that energy and I will put it towards what is willing to see that value without me having to sacrifice myself to show it. Because you don't have to do that. What's meant for you will never require that of you. But this new beginning is absolutely possible. These pieces, you'll start to see the pieces falling into place, whenever you accept that what is meant for you isn't behind you, ultimately is what I'm saying, that your happiness exists ahead of you, the opportunity to be happy and joyful and abundant and loved, all of those things are ahead of you, not behind you. Don't let your past hold you back. All right, we're going to hop on over to the extended. We just talked about what you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. The extended is going to be all about what you need to do, what you can do right now to ensure that you are moving forward with your higher self. Information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Aries, as always, for your support of my channel. I obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Aries, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aries.